Being official. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. I'm thrilled you're here today. I hope everybody's doing well. Before we kick off with our full agenda today, I just wanted to let everybody know one thing that's going on in the region that it's really kind of bizarre. It's been interesting. So I think everybody knows that in from the Los Angeles regional colleges with our consortium, we have a monthly meeting where the leads go. And Yadira and I have been attending these meetings for a long, long time. And we had a regional lead named Audrey who recently retired. I want to say maybe like July. It was sometime this summer, if I remember correctly. Maybe August. So it was a recent retirement. And then a woman named Catherine took over for our region. And I thought Catherine was going to be staying on as our regional lead. And she led a meeting, or excuse me, she like was there for one of the meetings, and then all of a sudden, the day that we were supposed to meet with the regional leads, we got all these meeting notifications canceled. And so I wrote the person who canceled them and I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And I never heard back. And so I looked into it a little bit more, and it turns out that Catherine, I believe, took the regional lead position and then stepped back almost instantly, like within a month, stepped out of the position. And as far as I've been told, I don't believe there's a regional lead right now. I have sent numerous emails asking, and nobody's responding. And so I wanted to let you know we also contacted Virginia Rapp at the El Camino campus because she's like the SWP lead for the El Camino campus. We've sent her emails as well, and everything is silent right now. Nobody's responded. So I'm kind of unsure what's going on in the region. It's a little bit weird. Like all of our meetings have been canceled. I don't know if part of it also has to do with how the OC and LA are splitting come November. So maybe they're looking at a restructure. I don't know though. I don't want to read into it, but I'm trying to make sense of being totally ghosted right now. I mean, we've emailed multiple people and nobody's telling us what's going on. Actually, Leah, since I'm sorry like to just throw this on you on the spot, but since you have been a regional lead in the past, have you heard anything about what's going on with leadership in the region? Because we just had like Audrey retired, Catherine took over, then Catherine stepped back after a month, and then all the meetings were canceled in the region. And everybody I've emailed, nobody's responded.
Yeah, actually, Renee, I haven't heard anything at all about the new leadership. The last time I heard is Audrey not doing it, and then there was another person who took over, and then she didn't continue for some reason. Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going on either. I can ask
Okay.
my dean though and update you.
Would you please, because we contacted Virginia Rapp and we haven't heard from her yet, and I don't know if we will. I don't know her personally, so like it's like somebody else reaching out to her, so I don't know her personally. So if you don't mind, that would be great. And if anybody hears anything, please let us know because I've been functioning in regional capacity either in LA or other regions for years now. And I've never had this happen. Like all the regions meet every single month. So to suddenly have everything cancel and not know who's in charge is little interesting. But it's all good, right? So I just wanted to give everybody a heads up about that. But once I find out who our new leader is, I will let you know. Please know that we have strong workforce funding through June of next year, June 30th of next year. Hopefully, when the next round comes out, we all know we were not included in this one. Hopefully, when the next one comes out, we can try and jump back in. Hopefully, with not too much in between time, too, if at all possible. Shoot, there was one more thing I wanted to say about the regional funding, and I just,
So Renee, just
yes,
clarification. So our funding, the 20,000 that we have right now, that's not ending in December, that's ending in June.
no, that's to June, as far as I know. Yeah.
Right. Wow, that's good news actually, because I thought it was
Yeah.
going to end in December.
Oh, no, no, no. All the contracts that I have a June 30th end date for this round of funding. I'll double check though. I'll
Yeah,
totally
let's
double
double
check.
check.
But
Yeah.
That's what I'm
yeah,
planning on too.
yeah. You're planning June 30th, or were you planning December?
June.
Yeah, yeah. Because
And I
we,
think my campus is local strong workforce. Maybe it's internal, but I think they're trying to make us have requisitions by March. So I think that they're in line with the same deadlines for local or regional.
okay, great.
And I think they might try to make you spend it by May. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely on the idea of spending out early. It's not like we have a ton of money
Yeah, yeah.
set. You know what I mean? It really is pretty minimal. But I'll double check that, Leah. As far as I know, it's a June 30th deadline, which means that we will
That would
run
be-
another Teach for LA in spring.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, because the reason I was ordering some stoles from Via Promotions, and I told them, oh, I need to spend this money by December 31st.
I'll double check today, Leah, and I'll text you once I know for sure. But as far as I know, I've been told, and all the documentation I have is showing a June 30th. Yeah. There's something else I had to tell you about regional, and for some reason it's escaping me right now. Shoot. Okay, I'm going to make a note, and hopefully I'll remember. It's just been really kind of interesting because, you're really used to having those monthly meetings to check in with everybody in the region. And so one of the things that's been tricky is we always try and share what we're doing as much as possible at those meetings. And so we haven't been able to use that reach to get the information out about Teach for LA. I'm not super concerned because we've had healthy enrollment so far and healthy registration. But if you don't mind, if there's people on your individual campuses who normally might have heard through the region, they won't in this case. So if you could share to those stakeholders, that would be great. But let's go ahead. Let's start off with some quick introductions. I think we all know each other, but I think it's important for us to get to know each other better, especially like Liz, who's just joined us recently. We want to make sure that, she feels comfortable with everybody. And Liz, I don't know if you've got the baby with you. If you do not worry if you can't be on camera. We are here to support you, and we're thrilled that you're here today. So who wants to start us off? Marina, would you start us off? You're so beautiful with that smile and stuff this morning. Oh my God, I'm just like looking at you like she's a good looking woman.
Oh, you're so sweet. You know how to make someone's day. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Hi, everybody. I'm Marina Smith, and I am from West Los Angeles College. I teach child development and education. And I'm the Title V STEM Teacher Prep Coordinator and the Child Development Club Advisor. And I'm very happy to be here this morning. Definitely better than last meeting. I remember we were all emotional. So I think this is a happier vibe. But I like that we make space for however we need to feel. And that's important. So are we just doing intros? Not updates?
Yeah, just basic intros. I actually don't have a ton on the agenda today. I want us to all do check-ins and then talk about Teach for LA. And then I've got a lot of announcements of the stuff that's coming up. But yeah, just a little bit of an intro.
Okay. Welcome.
You want to pass it, Marini?
Sure. Awesome. I will pass it to Laura.
Hello. Laura Manson from Santa Monica College. And only thing I'm going to share, I'm so excited that our college is giving us a new hire in education and ECE. So we are just, so thrilled. It's been maybe like 8 to 9 years in, planning, because you have to petition every year, do it. And yeah, anyway, so we're just really excited about that. So we'll hopefully once we get
Is it a joint position with EDU and ECE, did you say?
Yeah, because we're all in one division. So we're looking, because part of it was logistically trying to fill an education person just with education, that we didn't think we had cut the mustard with the work, the course load. So we figured we find a person that has a combination that then we could do it, even though they're focused. I want them to come now and be part of Teach LA and do the, have things for them to do. But yeah, so we feel, and we think that might have been what pushed us through to get the position.
Excellent. Well, and I even know people right now who would be good matches. So yes. We'll get the word out for sure.
I was just putting that in the chat. Is there a link? Is there a
not yet? We have to get. We have to.
Typing.
No. That's okay. We've got the approval. We've got to get everything in by next week. No, once I get it, I'm sending it out to whoever. And then, and if anybody knows of any particular like listservs that I could send it to, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if you let me know that too.
Laura, when you get it, we can send it out to the COP listservs if you want.
Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah, we want to get the best and brightest.
Faculty. Yeah, just so everybody knows, we have quite a few listservs within TPP, and they're individual listservs. So we've got the larger listserv, which is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stakeholders, cross systems, TK, all sorts of teachers and educators in that group. And then we have our COPs, and we've kept each of those listservs sacred. So there's the EDU COP, which is primarily education faculty. though many are adjuncts. So having a full-time position, that it's a great group to give it to. We've got the ECE COP, and that listserv in the ECE COP is massive. Massive. And so like if we can be of help, please let me know. And just so everybody knows, I actually don't run all the listservs. I run the stakeholder listserv and I run the leadership COP listserv, but Megan and Shannon run the EDU listserv, and then Rachel Johnson out of Ventura runs the ECE listserv. So I know it's kind of weird to have multiple listservs, but we have different types of participants. And so, you know, you kind of want to have people where they want to be, you know, in terms of information. Okay, awesome, Laura. Let us know when that position comes out. I'm excited too. I get to speak to your Future Teachers Club in December. I'm so excited that I was asked to be your guest speaker. Thank you. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'll pass it to Megan.
Excellent.
My Zoom updated and my stuff's in a different spot, so my muscle memory goes the wrong place. Hi, everyone. It's Friday, right? Happy Friday. Oh my goodness. Megan Koplinski. I get to teach education and reading classes at Long Beach City College. I am now department head, so that's a new position for me. And I just love being part of this group, CCCTPP, running with Shannon, that Ed community practice, and serving on ACTEP. So gosh, there's so many ways I see a lot of your faces, and it's always great to have this smaller group meeting. So happy Friday.
Who do you want to pass it to, Megan?
Sorry, I forgot. Letty.
Hi, good morning, folks. My name is Leti Rojas. I am education faculty and teacher prep coordinator at Pasadena City College. And things are going well. They're just busy. We're trying to partner with the Career Center and doing some workshops, and really just trying to get our attendance up in terms of virtual events. Everything seems to be cut in half in terms of how many students are showing up to things. So just working on that, brainstorming, and then looking forward to just end of the semester events, but doing well. And I will pass it to Kimberly.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Kimberly Rosenfeld, and I teach at Cerritos Community College in Norwalk. And I am the department chair for education, but I'm officially housed in comm studies since we don't have full-time faculty for our Department of Education. So I kind of split between these two areas, which I love, which is great. I mean, because I have a background in ed and was a high school teacher. And so at Cerritos, we're just chugging along. I'm working on curriculum. I'm working on, we have the SEED grant that Renee's involved with as well, which is the Department of Education for creating a teacher pipeline. I think Leah, you are also involved in that. I see Leah here. So we're really busy with that one. That's got a lot of hours of meetings per week. I look at Renee. It is really time consuming, more than we could have expected.
The 8-hour contract or the 10-hour contract that is weekly, like 40 hours.
Or more, because I mean, literally
Oh
the meetings alone are 8 hours a week. So anyway, but we're having a lot of fun with that. And, you know, and chugging along, like you say, Leticia, I mean, we have our challenges with COVID and everything, but we're working through it. So glad to be here.
I got to tell you, Kimberly and Leah, and just so everybody, we're spending so much time on this CPTP project, and you'll see us engaging in this for years, just so everybody knows. But one of the cool things is yesterday I was on that CSU, it was like a panel in the afternoon. It was about AB 130, and it was like Marquita and all these faculty and education leaders were talking about the implications of the AB 130. And literally, and it was fascinating. It was totally fascinating because, you know, I love our CSU colleagues, but each one of our systems is truly unique. So when you hear colleagues reflect on your systems, it's fascinating. Like somebody on the panel was going, yeah, well, you know, in the community college system, there's not much going on with apprenticeships. So ECE and EDU would be the best place to start apprenticeships. And I'm sitting there biting my nails like, do you realize how much we're doing across the state in apprenticeships right now? So it was kind of funny. But in the chat, somebody puts up this whole thing about that CPTP program, and how it's what's happening right now at some of the colleges in the LA region. And we need to be looking at this because it's a mentor opportunity that possibly could be scaled. And so it was funny to see that our CSU counterparts pulling and putting our project in the chat as an example of a potential success that can scale. So especially when you're like deep in it with so many emails every day that you're like not perceiving it as a success at this point, because it's this nonstop checklist every single day that you're just troubleshooting. But I guess that's what happens sometimes with good projects, right?
Yeah, but it'll need the funding to back it up if it's going to get institutionalized, because I tell you, it needs a lot of support, both office support and like I know that we have a student who's our success coach. She's invaluable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are positions that need to be supported and funded, not to mention the release time that some of us get to do this too. So it would be a big commitment, but I do think it is hopefully a success. It feels like at moments that it is. We'll see. We're in the weeds of it. So got 2 more years of this to go. So we'll see.
It'll be good once we get to celebrate some pieces of it, because that always helps you to reflect and realize all the good and kind of forget about the challenges. Awesome. Thank you, Kimberly, so much. Kimberly, who do you want to pass it to next?
Is it Marini?
Oh, I think Marini's already
went.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. So then let me go with Elvia.
Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can.
Okay, super. Good morning, everyone. Good to see everyone. And my name is Elvia Benuelos, and I'm here from East Los Angeles College. I teach both the child development and education courses. And in listening to some of the highlights provided by some of you, I also have a highlight I'd like to share with you. And this highlight is in reference to our college being selected as one of the leading community college institutions that have spearheaded the associate with degree with transfer degrees, and the with the most ADTs received by students representing the Latinx student population. And I'm trying to get the name of the organization that awards these particular degrees. And I think it was called the Community College. What is it? Let me see if I can get the it was awarded through the campaign for no, what was the name of the California? It was I'm trying. This was recognized by the Equity Champions for Excellence in Transfer for Latinx Students, and the name of the organization. Why can't I find it? But I thought that was interesting.
Elvia, somebody just put it in chat. Marini just put in chat, is it the Aspen Prize? And I think that didn't that just release publicly where that came out? So was it part of the Aspen Prize?
No, I didn't know about the Aspen Prize, but this is another. This has been Champion of Higher Education by the Campaign for College Opportunity. So that's the name of the organization that has awarded the community college. But thank you for that update. Was it Veronica that posted there on the chat? And the other thing that I wanted to make reference to was that our college has been instrumental in providing a series of town hall meetings in reference to transforming lives through healing, equity, and social justice, which has been made available to faculty, staff, and students. And I just wanted to add that these and I just wanted to add, I don't know everyone can still hear me here. I just wanted to add that I really enjoyed listening to the voices of our students as they also engage in this conversation.
Thank you so much, Elvia. I know that was Cuesta College recently had an event, I think it was maybe just last week, on social justice. Lisa Wilson was one of the guest speakers, and they had a student panel. And I will tell you, that student piece, it's so essential. And anytime that we can have students engage in those conversations and allow us to really listen in, I think is just so, so great. Oh, Marini just made a comment in the chat that Marini's attended the 2 ELAC town halls and said they were great, Elvia.
Yes, my students provided feedback on their experiences, and they too made reference to it was very not just engaging for them, but also just an amazing experience overall. And I think maybe something for our college to consider doing, just consistently more of these town hall sessions.
I love it. I think our students can tell us a lot. I think we spend a lot of time saying everything. You know what I mean? Well, just as peers and as faculty, and when we stop and we listen to students, there's so many aha moments, even within small conversations. And so thank you for valuing that, and for your campus valuing that. And congratulations too. How exciting. So it's like a celebratory time for you, right?
It has been. It actually has been. But I have to say, going back to our students, I love listening from the voices of our students. I think that's what really re-energizes me. Just listening to them and knowing that, okay, our efforts, we do it for them.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Who would you like to introduce next, Elvia?
Douglas.
Excellent.
Douglas Huey.
Yo. Hey, everyone. It's Doug here, Doug Huey at Mount San Antonio College, way out in the east region, which, by the way, I noticed just the other day, I was looking at the, I think it was the LARC website, and Mount SAC still doesn't have a logo up there. So come on, put us up there. We need to be up there.
Oh my gosh, we will get that fixed. We actually were just talking to our web IT guy this week. So Leah, are you cool sending him an email and asking to get that Mount SAC logo up?
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
I do need to meet with you on that, Renee. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be cool. I was about to brag to my students, hey, you guys, look at this, but oh, well, we're not up there, so.
Yeah, so we actually need a list of new colleges that are part of our Teach LARC. So that way we can include everyone.
Excellent.
So well, I'm having so it was Kimberly that talked about the education department. And I think it's cool that you have an education department. I had to work pretty tirelessly to even get the word education tacked onto our child development and education department. I couldn't believe how hard that was. That took me like 3 years. But now we are at least the child development and education department. I'm also a CPTP tutor, and I support the Teacher Preparation Institute here at Mount SAC. And let me tell you, I'm having a blast teaching the Introduction to Education, which is, a state mandated course, but we also have at Mount SAC just one other education course, which is Education 16. And that's like, it's called Aspects and Issues in Education. And oh my God, what a time to be teaching that class with the CRT, critical race theory, the vaccines, the masks, the school vouchers. And it's shaking, guys. I mean, there's a governor's race in Virginia just a few days ago, and the guy was an underdog who won it, and he won it. I tell you, you can look it up. He won it on the platform of education and parents' rights. That's exactly what he ran on, and he won. He was like a big underdog. So I mean, this is all across the country. So it's a very exciting time to be in education, and also to help the students, sort out where they're going to fit in, because they're just entering the field. So I'm excited. I haven't seen you guys in a while. I regret that. I've just been super, super busy and had some family issues I had to deal with, but It's good to be here. I can feel the energy. I can feel the love already.
That's what it's about, having a group where you can come back and feel good and check in, and you know what I mean? I think too that whether or not we continue to get SWP funds, I think we need to continue meeting. And if we stop SWP funds, then we need to just start looking for other funds in order to help us to all continue to work together. Because it doesn't make sense to have a collaboration only based on funding. I mean, by all means, we need the funding, but it just goes so much deeper. Doug, I hope too, with your class and with everybody who's teaching EDU right now, please have your students watch a board meeting like right now and reflect on it, maybe even digest it as a whole class. I know in my community, just this week, we had a board meeting that went for 4 hours.
You're talking about a school board meeting, right? Yeah.
That had hundreds of families. They couldn't even fit them in the room. I actually was asked to do a presentation at a board meeting in a different district next week, and I originally agreed to it. And then after what happened this week, we now have board members that are being threatened and things like that.
That's not good.
Yeah, my husband, Doug, literally said to me last night, he's all, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with you presenting to the board at this point.
I don't blame him.
He goes, you'll be a target then, and people know where we live, and we've got kids. And it was like, oh, I mean, like, it's so scary because we want to be advocate, we want to advocate and do what's right. But at least for our students to be watching those board meetings, or a board meeting, or a portion of a board meeting, just to have an idea. And don't watch the beginning and the end. You need to watch the meat of it in the middle. And so if anybody needs a link to a board meeting or anything, I literally have a very hot topic 4-hour board meeting this week. I could share the link if people want it, but I love how in the chat, Elvia put with her CD and EDU students that this is a requirement. It's just important for people to understand what you're getting into. It's just transparency, really.
Yeah, it could be a little bit scary for some new students, but I don't say that that's a reason not to go to it. I'm just saying we better, prepare them. And I do. That's what I say. It's really, really an exciting time. I mean, I've been teaching this class for, I don't know, maybe 10 years, possibly. But, there's always issues in education, especially public education, since it's tied to politics. So there's always going to be some rumbling, but it's off the chart these days. I mean, just like you said, people getting threatened and people getting arrested, and some proposal that parents who speak out at school board meetings should be considered domestic terrorists, and everything. Like, oh my God, where are we going here?
It's a different time, that's for sure. And we want our students to, especially if we can assign something like a board meeting and then bring it back and digest it and reflect on it together as a collective. I personally would not assign a board meeting and then just have them write up a reflection, because I think that's too much disequilibrium of how do you even process it at this point. I think they really need us to help process and to say, hey, this is a snapshot of time in education. It's not always going to be like this, but in this snapshot, here's what the climate's like,
Yeah.
Well, Doug, we are thrilled that you are here. I know we're still in introductions, but I love the way we're doing this. It works because people are also doing some bits of an update too. So it's kind of cool. So Doug, who would you like to pass it to next?
Oh, let's see. Who hasn't spoken yet? Leah, have you spoken yet? No?
Thanks.
Tag, you're it.
Okay, thank you. Hi, I'm Leah. I'm interim project manager at Rio Hondo College, also serving as a board of director with Megan for ACTEP. And also, like Cerritos and El Camino, we are part of the CPTP mentoring program, which, I really, really think is a great program. I think that it's really reaching our students, and it's a program that has a very good potential to become, an apprenticeship or something that we can work with CSUs in terms of field observation or mentoring. So anyway, we're just busy with reaching out to our students, doing our retention efforts, and of course, wellness. Wellness is very important. And we're actually having our Fun Friday today, where we're going to introduce, a wellness project, because, our students are, having difficulties to, and we can see that when we email them and they talk about how busy they are, or they can't continue with the program because they're just too busy, or they have to take care of themselves. So that's really important. And I think that's it for my update. But I think one of the highlights of being here in this meeting is seeing all these familiar faces that are very supportive of each other. So thank you so much.
Excellent, Leah. Who would you like to pass it to next?
Colleen, are you there?
I am sorry, I'm on my phone and I always forget where to unmute myself on the phone because I have another meeting that I'm logged into on my computer, which sort of describes my life these days. Hello, good morning, everyone. I understand that Kimberly already gave a little bit of an update around Cerritos, so I don't want to overlap that information, but we too have a lot going on in teacher track, and so I think Kimberly probably gave that update. So I'll just say hello. And because I logged in late, I don't know who hasn't gone yet either. I came in as Mount Sac was saying hello. So can
You've
somebody
got a
help
couple
me
choices,
pass that
Colleen.
out?
It could be LaShawn, it could be Melita, Caroline. I'm looking around to see who else. Liz.
Let's go, LaShawn.
Okay, LaShawn, why don't you take it?
Great choice. Good morning, everybody. So I'm LaShawn. I'm from Los Angeles Southwest College, department chair over there for child development. We have we have a teacher assistant certificate in education, but education is in a different department. And Marini could probably attest to this. I have been on a journey battling, trying to get this department to release just the name of the program, because they're not really offering anything, related to education, so that we can develop it and really create pathways for students that are very clear. And so that's something that I'm still working with right now. But in the meantime, we have put together some resources for students to prepare for the career. So we're touching on different categories, transfer ready, career ready, so skill development and things like that. We've been doing a lot of great activities. One of our challenges right now is really trying to define the cohort. So we have students kind of popping in and popping out of the different programs and things that we're offering. And we also ran into a hiccup where we had a dedicated counselor who went out on leave, and now they have not been able to replace her. So we have good systems in place, but trying to really see all of our objectives through has been a struggle for us, unfortunately. But I have realized, and this has been a message that I've been receiving for a while, I need to speak out more. I need to share what I'm doing, what I'm involved in, and get people more aware. And that's something that I don't do. I eat a lot of humble pie and work behind the scenes, but I'm realizing I really need to be more vocal and share what we're doing so that I can begin making more connections across campus and get the support that I need on my campus. But anyway, I love coming here because I get to hear what you guys are doing, and I get to name colleges, oh, check out Rio, check out Cerritos, and that's been very beneficial to me. So anyway, good morning, everybody. And I think, who did we say? Did Laura go?
Laura has gone, but Caroline and Melita, I do not believe have.
Okay, so
Liz
Caroline.
Oh, and Liz, sorry.
Hey, Liz. I picked Caroline already.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Caroline Jen. I'm from East Los Angeles College. I'm actually here on behalf of Amanda Andrade, our chair of the department. I'm sorry I'm late. I wasn't able to join in. Actually, when I came in, Elvia was sharing, so I am not going to share of what's going on with I'm sure she knows a lot more than I do. So thank you. I just want to say hi. Good morning, everybody.
Caroline, thanks for being here. Are you faculty in EDU or ECE or both, or what position do you have on campus?
ECE.
Outstanding. I was an ECE and EDU, so I get excited no matter what people tell me they're in. It's awesome.
Thank you. Mm.
Excellent. And then why don't we have Melita go, and then we'll have Liz go.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Melita Ferguson, and I am the director of the Child Development Center at Compton College. And I was originally referred here by Lionel Wiggins, and so I'm helping represent the Child Development Department as well. And so I'm happy to be here. I'm learning a lot and I'm able to share some information. I also work with the practicum students. So I'm sure, as all you know, that's been a little bit of a challenge with the pandemic. Thanks for having me, and I'm looking forward to gaining more information. Thank you.
Welcome. We are thrilled that you are here today. Liz, are you able to unmute and say hi this morning?
Yes, I am. Sorry, I'm on the floor here with the little guy, as you can see right here. Not so little anymore.
So cute.
Hi, everyone.
Gosh, Liz, how many months is he now? I felt wasn't like when we first met you, wasn't he like 1 month old or 2 months old? Like he was tiny, wasn't he?
He's huge. He is 8 months, but he looks like he's a 1-year-old. Look at him.
You know what though? All of us in ECE right now though, every single one of us is like, he looks healthy. That's all we care about. Like as a mom who had premature kids, I way prefer when they've got a little bit more on them. You know what I mean? And they're looking bigger and stronger. That's great.
Absolutely. And all he does is nurse. He doesn't know the bottle. So of course it's so tolling on me physically, but he's healthy and we're all doing okay here. It's so great to see all of you. I'm from Harbor College. I'm both in child development and we are just starting our education program. We are making great progress trying to get our ADT through. We have our education course already set up, our introduction to teaching. We have some exciting news after our last meeting. You know, we really wanted to hone in on students' interests. Sorry about that. He wants to chat too. And so I reached out to Dr. Inman, who is the department chair at our CSU, which is Dominguez Hills. And we are going to chat about possibly creating some sort of pathway for our students who are both child development and education majors to see if we could create something that is TK early childhood so that they don't have to go through the extra loops of going in as child development and then switching over and having to take all those tests that are required. So it's in the works. I'm not promising anything, but we are at least going to chat about it and see if we can create something so that we can really just cater to that population of students, because we have a ton of students who say, I want to do both. And so what a better way of just creating something that's tailored to them. And that's where we are now.
Liz, I love that because we have so many students. That was it was kind of like a challenge when you'd have a student come up and they'd go, well, I think I want to be a preschool teacher or a kindergarten teacher. And you're like, okay, step back. It's like, hold on. This is two very different balls of wax. And so if we can find a way, because I mean, I know I started as a preschool teacher knowing I wanted to be an elementary school teacher. That was my goal from the start. And so for people like that, how do we create these pipelines? And, you know, like we're talking about the stackable certificates, and like we need to be looking at that, especially as our legislation has pushed in universal preschool and universal extended care. And to actually operationalize that as a state, we will need thousands of more people in order for this to work. And so I love that you're having this conversation, because right now it's like our policy is ahead of our practice. And it's kind of like what happened when we went 20-1. We might have some hiccups because the policy is pushing forward before the practice of it. I love this too. Megan just put in the chat, there may also be a new PK through 3 credential coming. So let's see where that goes. No, you're right. It is PK through 3. Originally, they were looking at TK through 3, but then now as California Department of Education, we're going to see the system pushed down with universal preschool. We're really looking at basically 3 years old to 8 years old. You could teach 3 years old to 8-year-old kids. And so, and for those of us who've been in the field a long time, we've been talking about an early learning credential I don't even know. Like it feels like forever. Like it feels like at least like 15 years. So it's nice to see things grounding. So right now, Liz, you're in the right direction. Absolutely, having those conversations and just trying to get ahead of that policy as much as possible. You know. Okay, let's see who else. Letty, did you already have you had a chance or no? Letty, did you have a chance to introduce yet?
I did, yes.
You did. Okay, excellent. Is there anybody else who needs to introduce? I want to make sure we get everybody. I think that's everybody. Okay, so I apologize too. The lighting in my room is getting weird, and so
Renee,
there's.
I think Michael joined us a little bit.
Oh, Michael! Oh my gosh! Sorry, Michael. Absolutely, Michael. Unmute and please say good morning. And then after Michael, I see Colleen's hands up, so we'll go to her right after Michael.
That's all I say is good morning. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Good to see everybody again. And I'm looking forward to our future. So whatever that is, I'm late, so I don't know exactly what to say, but I appreciate everybody.
Well, we are happy you are here, Michael. Thanks for being here this morning.
Yeah, no problem.
And Colleen, I see your hands up. What did you want to share with everybody?
So I just wanted to, as Liz was talking about connecting with Dr. Inman, we at Cerritos had done the same thing, not specifically to early childhood, but just in trying to make a connection, because we have so many students that are now going to Dominguez, but they don't host like community partner meetings or anything like that. And so what you were sharing kind of made me remember that that conversation. So I did want to let you know, because their associate dean, or no, their new dean came from Cal State Long Beach. So that's where that meeting had come from. But it goes back to conversations we have all had, not only in this collaborative, but in others, about how our system is set up, that each one of us works independently with each CSU campus, which ultimately bogs down the entire system. Because then Dominguez Hills talks to you, they talk to us, they talk to El Camino, they talk to Rio. So just putting that back on everyone's radar, that, it would be nice if a pathway is developed that is inclusive of maybe the entire collaborative. And we also did a lot of work using our Education Futures funds in child development and the elementary ed curriculum and pathways to help students who are on the child development path sort of maximize their opportunities in the future if they decide that they want to go to elementary. So aligning their GEs and whatnot. And so Liz, we have a bunch of resources that were developed on our ECE pathway within our teacher track programs. So I can put a link to that in the chat.
Colleen, Liz also put in the chat that it says we can tag team Colleen and work on this together. I'm all about dividing and conquering. I think that's a great idea, but I'm also wondering, because this is, it was kind of like when I attended that CSU AB 130 yesterday, where I saw these kind of gaps, you know what I mean? In terms of them, the CSUs trying to know what all their feeders are doing and kind of have all that information. That's a lot in addition to their regular jobs to keep track of. And so do we think that it would be beneficial to maybe do something? I mean, ideally, it would be great if it could be face-to-face. I don't know if that's totally practical though, but would we as a region be interested in maybe hosting some sort of spring pathway development event where it's not about students, but it's about us and our counterparts at CSUs coming together and talking? I mean, would that be beneficial? We could create, I could talk with Yadira and we could create something like that most likely for spring. I mean, it's not like we could roll it out before the year's done since we're at November, but I think we could do something like that in spring. What does everybody think? Would that be beneficial? Would that, because anytime we propose something like this, there's a lot of planning and stuff that'll happen behind the scenes. So, but if we want it as a region, I'm happy to do it and produce it and make it happen. But what do you guys think?
Renee, we did try to do that. It was scheduled in April of 2020.
Yeah.
Remember? As part of the,
did you end up running it, Colleen, or what happened? Because
it was scheduled April like 27th or something. So it was right as everything was shut down. So and nobody was comfortable with Zoom yet at that point. But it was going to be sponsored by this collaborative in conjunction with Orange Counties, because Steve and Janice were part of that collaboration with Marquita Shire. She ensured that the deans in the region were notified and would come. So we had it all in place. We even had a rough outline. So I'm in favor of doing it regionally. I do think that we would need to somehow reach out to our Orange County colleagues as well, as because it really is the region, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Colleen, also, do you, because I kind of struggle with thinking about what this would look like in the virtual space. So do you think it would be something that we could possibly have it be a face-to-face in spring?
I think it will depend on everyone's policies. I think we could do it virtually, but it doesn't really have the same impact because, you know, as much as it provides flexibility, if we really want to dig into discussions, most of the, unless we do small breakouts in large forums like this, you know, people tend to disengage. So anyway, I think it's something to think about how we would be able to do that within the LAOC region. One challenge though is Marquita is retiring. So
what?
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't. Yeah. What are we gonna do?
Well, we're gonna need to make friends fast with the person who's selected. But yeah, she'll be done at the end of the year, at the end of this calendar year.
Wait, in December?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that. I mean, it's great for her. I don't mean to sound that sounded bratty. It's wonderful that Marquita is going to be able to retire when she's still young and vivacious, and that's wonderful. And it'll be tricky for the rest of us. We'll need to get some partnerships solidified and stuff going quickly because she's been such an advocate for so many years and such a true partner.
Yeah, well, and I know that Steve has been working really closely with her through ACTEP, and maybe we could rely on our ACTEP partners here to kind of think about how we might be able to utilize them as a resource as well to bring folks together around this topic, because they have been very active. And maybe Leah or Megan can talk to this about, I mean, wasn't CCTE recently? You attended CCTE. So I think we could probably maybe get something in place, or at least start planning something, or plant the ideas so that Marquita could hand that off to her successor.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe we plan it late enough in spring that the person will have their feet wet also. You know what I mean? Maybe we plan to do something start of May, or, you know, end of April, something like that, so they can have a couple weeks or a couple months in between. Okay, this is cool. Does everybody like this idea? Like, just give me a thumbs up or some indicator yes. And if there's a no, just be like, don't do it. You can say, Renee, don't even go down this rabbit hole. Okay. I think it looks like the majority wants me to go into the rabbit hole, so I will do that. Before we keep going, I want to stop for just a second and have Yadira come on and do a quick introduction because she's joined us.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having me, Renee. I apologize that I'm late. I had another appointment that I had to go to. Welcome, everybody, to the meeting. I'm Yadira Arellano from El Camino College, and I also teach at Rio Hondo College. And I think Renee already mentioned the conference that she's putting together.
Almost, not yet. We're going to get to it in just a second.
All right, great. And it's so nice to see everybody.
Thank you, Yadi. I appreciate you coming on and saying hello. So on the agenda today, we basically have welcome and introductions, campus reports, and then teach for LA. So I know that some of us have already started to share a little bit about what's going on with their campus, but I do want to open it up broader now, and just anybody who'd like to share things that are going on their campus that they didn't share within their introduction, or any upcoming events or anything that we should have on our radar. Who would like to start us off? Okay, go for it, Marini.
Hi, everybody. Hello again. I can share a couple quick things. Some good pieces of news to share. So one is West, to kind of tie into what Elvia was saying, West has been named as an Aspen Prize top 150 US community college. When I was looking it up and I was looking up the email, it says that West LA is the only college in our district to be accorded this recognition. So that's pretty exciting. We were selected from a pool of over 1,000 community colleges nationally based on our performance in multiple metrics of student success. I don't really know what the prize is. We have to apply, apparently. We still have to apply for funding. So it just means that we are now in the running to apply for funding. And I don't even know how much it is, but we're all very excited and bragging about this prestigious nomination. So that's one thing. The other thing I wanted to share is a group of 6 of us at West, we applied to be a part of the OFAR project, Open for Anti-Racism. And out of 65 teams, we were one of 8 selected. So I'm super duper excited. We are now in a 6-week Canvas course for Open for Anti-Racism. We have a pretty cool and diverse team. So I'm representing child development and education. We have someone from theater, someone from English, someone from basic skills, someone from biology, and someone from political science. So we have a nice diverse group, tenured and part-time faculty, different ethnic groups, gender, et cetera. So we have a pretty great diverse group. And so for 6 weeks, we are going to go through this intense Canvas course. I don't know how I'm going to find time to do that. And then next semester, we each have proposed a project that we are going to do to make our curriculum more anti-racist. We're going to have a coach that's going to help us through it. And then hopefully our projects will become institutionalized into our curriculum and we can share with our faculty. So for example, in my proposal was in child development 2, early childhood principles and practices, and also an education one. When we talk about different educational theorists, as we all know, it's disproportionately like European white males that are highlighted. And so my proposal was to highlight more current Black females like Zaretta Hammond, Geneva Gay, Linda Darla Hammond, who really have pioneered, who have really, you know, made huge advances in education with regards to anti-racist and anti-bias and culturally responsive and sustaining curriculum. So, but our group, I was just really, really impressed with the different ideas and projects that they came up with. So I'll keep you posted on, you know, how that goes. It's going to be 2 semesters in the making, but we're excited that we were selected.
Marini, if there's ever a moment where your group or all of the groups do like a presentation where we're allowed to be observers, if you could please invite us. I think it'd be really helpful because there's a lot of us that are engaged in this work right now and just want to do what we can to support it. And it would be wonderful if you don't mind sharing it once that.
Not at all. I would love to. And just a quick note too, the OFAR Canvas shell apparently is available in the Canvas Commons. So, because we were all worried that we weren't going to get selected because it was pretty competitive. So we were asking the facilitators ahead of time. So if we're not selected, can we still have access to some of the resources? And if you go into the Canvas Commons and you type in Open for Anti-Racism, you should be able to access the course materials so that you can at least still see what is available.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Marini, and congratulations. No matter what the prize ends up being, we're thrilled that you're nominated and that your work and your campus's work is getting recognized on a much broader scale.
Awesome. Thank you.
I saw that Aspen Prize and I was like, I wonder who's going to get it. Like, that was cool. I saw it, I think I was maybe on LinkedIn or something yesterday. And I was like, I wonder which colleges. So that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Who else would like to do an update?
I'll do one. So we have a lot of things happening at El Camino College. I think one of the best ones that is happening is our Teach El Camino has an event along with the Child Development Club. It's called Teach Behind the Education Scene Talk. It's the best event and it happens in 2 weekends. We have it happening on Saturday the 13th and then Saturday the 20th. I believe. And this is what, yes, thank you, Renee. This is actually put together by Janice Jeffers. She's the coordinator for the Teach El Camino, and Cynthia Cervantes. She's another faculty member at El Camino, and they both are the advisors, one for child development and then one for the Future Teachers Club. And I did this 1 year. This year I couldn't do it. I'm completely working for CC right now, but This is a great event for your students. It's open to all the community colleges if you want to have your students attend. We gathered an occupational therapist, speech language pathology, a preschool teacher, university professor. So we have all these roles in education. And what we do is we basically have like a panel, and we allow the students to ask questions. So we ask them questions about their career, how they got there, what are the struggles they faced, and any recommendations they might have if a student is wanting to go into that field. So really, really excited for them. This is a great event, and it's going to be happening in 2 Saturdays. We also have, we are thinking of going back full. I'm actually going back in the winter for our community college. We're opening classes in the winter, which is in January 3rd. I officially go back to campus. And so that's pretty exciting. I don't know how everybody feels about that. I'm ready to go back to work. I need to be in the classroom. And we are also working with our CPTP program at El Camino College, which is this mentoring program we have, where we align students with their mentors. And that is an ongoing thing. And so those are, I think, the only updates I have so far.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Yadira. I appreciate it. Okay, just so everybody knows, on your agenda, I put all sorts of flyers. I just added them at the end of the agenda. So the flyer for the best events there's a flyer. Megan has an event happening at CSU Long Beach. Sorry, I said Megan, but Megan's counterparts at CSU Long Beach have an event coming up. We've got the Road to Teaching conference is also on there. Actually, let me just show real quick before we go to the next person who's going to share. So we have our regular agenda for the day. A couple announcements here, including the ACTEP convening that's coming up on the 19th. And that's got the link there. And then we've got Tanette Salter is speaking at the Leadership Community of Practice today from 12 to 1:30. So we have that flyer there. We've got the Behind the Education Scene talk coming up from El Camino, which is coming up next Saturday and then the Saturday after. And then this is a descriptor that Yadira included in the email, and it also has the link for the Eventbrite. So I wanted to make sure to have that there in case anybody wanted it. I thought this list of who they were inviting was like pretty spectacular. Almost, this is going to sound cheesy, but you know, I plan stuff all the time, so I kind of want to keep this list so that way the next time I plan something like this, I'm including all these type of people, because there's some categories of professionals here that I don't normally include. So I think that's really comprehensive, Yadira. We also have the flyer for Teach for LA. If you haven't had a chance to share that with your students and with anybody on campus, please make sure to do that because we want to get the word out. We've got Quest to College has a workshop coming up later this month on the AB 130, and so we want to make sure we've got that here too. We've got Future Teacher Student Panel that happens at CSU Long Beach, and there's one coming up on Thursday, November 18th from 12 to 1. And then we've got the Road to Teaching conference that's coming up on November 20th. Also, Marini just put, my husband's presenting at the ACTEP convening Restorative Justice in K-12, K through 12 schools. I hope you can check it out. I realized too, Megan and Leah, I have the ACTEP link, but I don't have the ACTEP flyer. Would one of you mind putting that in the chat, please? I apologize that I thought I included every single flyer I could think of. Oh, wow. Letty, would you mind talking about what you just put in the chat for a second, please?
Yeah, we just had that. My goodness, this has been the longest week. Wednesday evening. So it was a virtual event with our Career Center, and we're going to hopefully run a series, but it was good. We had about 80 students register, 35 showed up. So that's at least a good turnout. But it was really nice. We had students from psychology, from other majors that we sometimes have attend some of our things when we do a lot of single subject things, but a lot of the conversation turned to how do we support students in ways that are kind of social emotional kind of development. But it was a lot of pathways. It was just a conversation about how did they get to that career, et cetera. But just things like one of my friends is a psychiatric social worker in LAUSD, so just got a chance to kind of explore other careers that are connected to education. So it was good. Usually we do virtual events that are very specific, teaching, elementary or teaching middle school science. So I think this was a little bit more general, but had a good turnout, which is nice.
Excellent. I hope that everybody's also sharing their own personal journeys with your students, because I mean, I'm not sure if everybody's in the same boat as me, but you know, you think you're going to be one thing, and then you end up getting credentials and degrees that open all these doors for you. And so then you end up getting a chance to really reinvent and be multiple things in the field of education. So I think it's important for our students to know that. They might think that you grew up wanting to be a professor. Is that the case? If so, great, tell them about it. If not, tell them about it. So this is wonderful. Thank you so much, Letty, for sharing that. I really appreciate it. Oh, interesting. So the speech pathologist was a former teacher. I know of a counselor at College of the Canyons who I was doing a counseling presentation, and I was talking about how it's such a bummer that we wait till the end to do student teaching, because a lot of people realize they don't like to be in the classroom and they've already done the degree. And she came up to me right afterwards and said, I was that teacher. I got my teaching degree. I went and did student teaching. The moment I got in the classroom, I realized it was wrong. I finished my student teaching. I never became a teacher. I went straight into a counseling program, and then I became a counselor at the community college level. And then she's been in that position now for, 10 plus years. So it's important to know those different positions that exist for sure. Anybody else would like to share right now about anything going on in your campus or with your campus partners? Megan?
Yeah, I'm really excited because I shared the proposal and the course outline that Rosemary developed at Cuesta College for Ethnic Studies for Educators with our new hire faculty in Ethnic Studies, who is super thrilled that we're looking into this, and we're going to start writing a course outline for my campus this winter and spring. And there's also some wonderful training at UCR that my faculty member happens to have helped hire the folks for it at UCR Extension. So Rosemary, for example, is currently enrolled in one of these extension courses, and I'm seeking to provide strong workforce funding to send a bunch of my faculty before the funds expire to take a winter and spring course, perhaps 2 out of the 4, in order to earn the Ethnic Studies certificate. So we would develop the class a little different than Rosemary. We're thinking of making it required to be co-taught by Ethnic Studies and Education faculty, whereas Rosemary's is done that way in practice, ideally, but they have it technically that a SOC, Ethnic Studies, or Education faculty could teach it. So we want to keep it where there's always an Ethnic Studies faculty. We want to make it a project-based learning course and have students design lessons. And it would be in the area F, just like Rosemary's, where we would aim for it to meet the requirement for any student to take the course, especially students on our future teachers kind of pathways. So I'm super thrilled that immediately, we're getting the ball rolling on this and getting professional development for education faculty who potentially could help write the course and teach the course. So it's moving quick. The idea is also to wait and see what CTC requires, if anything, for the high school teachers to teach ethnic studies, and for the K-12 teachers to just embed it in the way they teach. So right now, to teach the course in secondary, the CTC says you just need a social science full credential. And the social science credential allows you to teach things like US history, world history, econ, and ethnic studies. So will districts say that minimum's not enough if CTC doesn't require anything? Maybe districts will say, you know what, we're going to send our folks to somewhere like UCR and get this certificate. Well, at my campus, we're like, well, why wouldn't we create that certificate too, so that current educators can also seek training, whether they're in K-8, or actually going to teach the standalone course in the high school. So we're brainstorming about that, waiting to see what CTC requires, because if something was required, we need to align to that if we're even eligible, because it could be potentially a credential area, which we can't cover. So anyway, I'm super excited, and I'm hoping I can enroll in these classes this winter.
Did you say a credential area you can't cover yet?
Well, community colleges can't give credentials, but if we can give coursework that can allow a local district to say, hey, now our middle school teachers, they have professional development, not just a workshop, but actually a course. And so I'm excited. I want to go back to school.
I think that's great. I think it's great. I think that's the kind of thing also that nourishes people's soul. And right now people are lacking. We're seeing a lot of people struggling. And so wonderful. Anything that's creating community and bringing people together and helping them, move forward is so wonderful, Megan. Also, I was being a little bit punchy there when I was saying about the credentials yet. I think 5 years from now, we're going to hold a really different position in our system. I'm going to be honest with everybody. I don't think that, I think we're going to need a lot of teachers, and I think our role is going to change in the community college system. So not that we would be granting the credentials, but maybe we have partnerships where the credentials are held on our campuses or something, you know what I mean? That we can make it work. So awesome. Thank you so much, Megan. Who else has an update that they'd like to share?
Renee, I just want to say something real quick. I'm involved in this program at Mount SAC. It's kind of a combination of asynchronous and meeting with the organizers from time to time, but it's called Becoming a Data Literate Educator. And I just want to say a quick word. If anybody has such a program at your campus, I would really encourage it because I got into it and I found out that, man, there is tons of education data out there. The chancellor's office has several database warehouses, and probably your individual college does. And the reason I bring it up is because I think child development and maybe possibly even education is very big in the emotional area of learning. And I mean, I'm totally supportive of that. But a lot of administrators look at data when they're evaluating programs. And so I think it is very important to be balanced, or at least have an idea of what data is, where to find it, how to communicate it to other people. So anyway, that's all. I'm involved in that, and I'm really excited by it, and I just wanted to share that.
Doug, is that happening at Mount SAC, or where is that?
That's right at Mount SAC. Yeah.
Is it open to people outside of the community, like outside of the campus, or is it purely just like internal?
It's internal. That's why I mentioned, if any of our members here see something like that on their their college announcements or anything like that, it doesn't sound very inviting, like, oh, become a data literate educator, like, what's that? But I tried it, and man, my eyes were really opened. I was like, wow, there's a lot of information that you should at least, at the very minimum, be familiar with. Like, it's disaggregated information about success rates and retention, and how you can modify your approach to teaching to improve these numbers, et cetera. And I think it would go a long way to advancing our field if we were be able to speak in the language that administrators speak in. So
I think it's great, Doug. And if I'm not sure if you have access to like an outline or flyer or something, would you mind sending it to me? Because I have not heard of any other campus doing this. Does anybody who's on right now have a campus that is, having something like becoming a data literate educator? Offering that kind of professional development or even conversation. Yeah, Doug, I think it's pretty unique that Mount SAC's doing that. I've not heard of this at any of the colleges that I work with. So if you could share just anything you've got, it'd be good just in case we might want to try to find a way to do it ourselves, or, hire a person to come in and speak or something like that. I know that when we are doing grant applications, a lot of times people look to the specific data places where they say in strong workforce. And while that data is absolutely valid, sometimes there's a delay. And so there's other data sources we can go to in addition to the ones that are suggested that kind of show a more current snapshot of our industry sector. And so the more we know about the data, the more that we can share our story with the stakeholders and, both on campus and in a broader sense. So that's great, Doug.
Okay, thank you.
I like data. I'm not sure if everybody else does, but I'm always interested in data and pulling it apart and twisting it and whatnot. Great. Who else has anything they'd like to share with us? Any updates? Okay, we might be done with sharing updates, and that's okay too. I'm going to take screen for just a moment to share with everybody. Oh, actually, also, I remembered what I couldn't remember before about when I was talking about the region and the change of leadership. And I'm like, I wanted to ask you something else about regional. One of the things that I wanted to let everybody know is we have been told nothing about reporting with NOVA, like for a long time with the SWP funding. And so we met with Bobby Becca, who everybody knows left our region and went up to Bakersfield. We met with her just yesterday, and we were thinking that maybe somehow the notifications were going to her instead of me and Yadira, or trying to figure it out. We have not had any notifications. So just we have not been given any requests on reporting, which scares me, because at this point, it makes me think that they're at some point going to very quickly give us something and go, we need this right away. So I'm just throwing it out there as a heads up, like, have some data points available, be able to have a, quick little summary about what you've done or planning to do with the SWP funds, and just, just be ready for that, because once a new regional lead comes in and then they realize it's time to report, we might have to grab some data quickly. So I apologize on that, but it's like I said, the regional stuff has just been really bizarre.
Renee, I just wanted to make an announcement too. I actually just heard back from my dean, that is
good.
WP, our Virginia rep. She says she hasn't gotten anything, and usually that would really go to the leads, which would be me or Bobby, but I have not received anything from the region. So she said she's going to find out for me, and she's going to keep me posted.
Interesting.
So yeah, she has
started off telling everybody what we were going through with how we're like, all the meetings are canceled, and then the one leader left, and then the other leader left, and nobody's responding to emails. I shared with them how you had emailed Virginia. We're waiting to hear from her. So I was glad that she wrote back. So she hasn't heard anything either.
Nope. So she hasn't heard anything either. And I don't know if she just doesn't get that information, which I don't know if that's the case. Again, this is the first time that, since Bobby left, Bobby was the one who would get the reportings to us and tell us, okay, this is due on this date. So we are trying to function without Bobby, Becca. But that's the response I got. As soon as I hear anything else, I will make sure to let everybody know.
Thanks, Yadira. And it's so weird to not know, because usually we know exactly. And it's like we have nothing right now. Like Audrey retired, and then we were expecting new leader, and just nothing. So we'll keep everybody posted, right, Yadira?
Yep.
Oh man. Okay, so I want to, Bobby Becca left. I just saw Elvia put that. Bobby Becca, I'm gonna stop recording for just a sec. Well, and one of the tricks is, we don't know if information's going somewhere else accidentally or what's happening, but Yadira and I are figuring it out. I'm glad that you spoke to your dean, Yadira, so we know that she's not getting the information.
Yeah, she's not getting,
And we checked in with Bobby this week. So Bobby, I think her El Camino email is going to expire very shortly, because she transitioned, a couple months ago. So, but she hasn't seen anything on her email as well. So we're just trying to keep track of it, but we'll let everybody know with the reporting once we know.
Renee, is that the position that there is nobody in it now to replace Bobby? Okay, so so that's what Yadira meant, like chickens without a head. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't realize how much somebody does until they leave.
Yes.
No, that's not exactly true. I was amazed by Bobby even before she left.
Well, I was always amazed by Bobby, but I didn't understand the complexity of all the things that she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, Bobby is absolutely missed. But in good news, Bobby just bought a beautiful home in Bakersfield, and things are good. And we're not going to see the last of Bobby. We'll make sure we have like a Teach LA party once we're able to, and then we'll make sure Bobby comes down for it. Okay.
All right.
Once you're part of the family, you're always in the family.
As long as she's okay. That was the first question that came to my mind when you said just a minute ago, before you stopped the recording, and you said, yeah, Bobby left. I was like, oh, is she okay? She's sick. Is her family?
No, she's okay now. She's okay now. But what happened was just disrespectful and unfortunate, especially when somebody's been a trusted employee for 15 years.
Yeah. Welcome to education.
Yeah,
That's right.
Isn't that hard that
no good deed goes unpunished?
Yeah. You can't even be, it's so, I love that you just said that no good deed goes unpunished.
It's true.
Yeah. And the thing she was doing wasn't even crazy wasn't confrontational really or anything. It was just like just want to make sure it's okay I'm doing this. But so I want to share with everybody where we're at with the Teach for LA conference. As of a few days ago, we had 250 people registered, which is great. But if you could help to get the word out, especially next week, push it out to all your students as much as possible, that'd be wonderful. The schedule will officially drop on Monday next week and be given to everybody who's already registered. And then I'll update the Eventbrite a bit to reflect kind of what the schedule looks like. And then also probably by like next Wednesday, we're going to be sending out the flip book to everybody around there. So just a heads up. So the way that we structured the conference, as I shared with everybody, a couple months ago when we were planning this, with everything going on with my mom, we went for like a condensed version. Yadira, thank you for allowing that right now. And so the conference is going to run for 3 days. We start on Monday night. Okay, so I have it up right now. Yadira will be our opening and closing keynote. She's also giving a session during the conference, which I really appreciate. I'm excited for. I want to give a shout out to Cerritos College for helping us to just operationalize the conference and make sure that this can all happen. I greatly appreciate it. So we start out on Monday night, the 15th. With a 5:30 to 7 o'clock kickoff. This is going to be like the inspiration, get everybody going, kick off the conference, make it super fun and exciting. Yadira's got a great, powerful keynote presentation to give. She's doing 2 different keynotes at the start and the end of the conference. So they're going to have a very different feel to them. After that, though, we go into the full programming. So Tuesday, we start at 9 a.m. We've got a variety of sessions that are for our students, but we also have some of the sessions that are going to be really of interest to many of us who are on right now. So we've got a 9 session. Please just check out the topics. I'm not going to read them all. We've got a 10. We've got a 12:30 to 2. We've got, which I'm excited for Doug's panel with special ed. He's got some fantastic people. That's going to be a really good one. We've got Kathleen and Kate Brown. Kathleen coming in. We have some of our colleagues coming in from Northern California to help out too. And this one's going to be really good, especially for a lot of us. This is understanding that early learning permit and what that's going to look like, or the early learning credential, plus also the rest of it. Then we've got Cal State Northridge coming in with Veronica doing some bit on transferring and what it looks like for the different programs and what's available. That's happening from 3 to 4. We've got a session on technology in the classroom from 4:30 to 5:30. And then on Tuesday night, I'm really excited for this. We have a panel, a student panel. This is a great one, especially if you've got faculty who are tired right now or people who need some motivation, send them to this, because our students really just remind us about why we do what we do. So that panel is going to come up on Tuesday night. Wednesday is going to be very similar to Tuesday in that it's going to be an all-day conference. So we start at 9 a.m. with Rosemary coming from Cuesta College. We've got CalSTRS coming in. So we've got 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12. We've got a second 11 to 12 too. This is going to be awesome. We wanted to make sure that we had a variety of things available. And so I think we have a really good, I'm really excited about the concepts that we have at the sessions this time. We've got a 12:30 to 2 o'clock, a 2 to 3. We've got a second 2 to 3. I'm working on finalizing their description. We're going to have CARE come in and do some work on social justice and racial equity with us that day. And then we've got some preschool leaders coming in from 4 to 5 talking about how do you start your own preschool program. From 4 to 5:30, we also have a teacher panel that's going to be facilitated by Megan. This is going to be an inspirational time where you come in and you just hear some teachers talking, and teachers from a variety of areas. We're really trying to have and we still need another teacher. And so if anybody has maybe one more teacher that we could add to that teacher panel, that would be wonderful. We have a special workshop. Now, this is interesting. Cuesta was putting on these pathways to the teaching credential, and they asked me to advertise it. And so I said, wait a second, could we just include it in the brochure for Teach for LA? And they thought it was great because it was happening at the same day. So we actually moved our closing session in order to make sure that we didn't do that overlap with that AB 130 session here from 5 to 6:30, because we wanted to make sure that everybody can go to both if they want to. So we wrap up from 6:30 to 8 on Wednesday night. Okay, but don't worry, because it's kind of done, but it's not totally done. So we do the wrap up on Wednesday night. We'll have Yadira do the keynote. This one's going to be a keynote of inspiration for the future, and you can do it, and all that kind of good stuff. And then we're going to do the opportunity drawing on Wednesday night. And then, and this is a little bit of my, I apologize because as everybody knows, with everything going on with my mom, I had to pivot a bit for the Teach for LA. Originally, when we proposed the Teach for LA dates, we were doing Wednesday through Thursday, and then we had to back it up to Monday. So it went Monday to Wednesday. So we have a bonus session coming on Thursday, and it's going to be really fascinating. So Tariq Smith is going to be coming in doing a restorative justice in K through 12 schools. This was just mentioned in the chat too, because this same session will be, or a similar session will be happening at ACTEP, which is the next day. So, but if you're able to, please join us on Thursday from 4 to 5 p.m. It's going to be a really fascinating session. I've got the link here right available from the start, so that way everybody's got that one. Then we wanted to make sure, please know that we're working on getting a better, for some reason when I put this in, it's all blurry, but we're working on getting a better copy of this. This is that pathway to the teaching credential that's happening at Cuesta. And then we also want to make sure that we're kind of cross-marketing other things that are happening. So at CSU Long Beach, they're doing the student panel on Thursday from 12 to 1. We have it in here. So that way, if students want to go to it, they've got the RSVP, they can continue, they can go. So it's kind of cool because we've got our conference, but we also have some other items for the students as well. In our flip book, we're also going to include like the Road to Teaching conference flyer. Leigh, I'm trying to think of what else. We have like at least 2 or 3 other flyers of events that are coming up that we are including in the Road to, that we're including in Teach for LA. So if you have anything coming up later in November or December that you want to be advertised in the conference flipbook, please send it over like today, if at all possible, because Leia's working on that right now. Leia, anything I missed or?
Do you have the Road for Teaching in there, Renee, and the ACTEP convening? We can add that.
I do not. Well, I didn't know if ACTEP, since it's a student event, I didn't know if the ACTEP convening would be appropriate. Now, I think that if we have sessions that are more for faculty and leaders versus students in those sessions, we should totally advertise it. Road to Teaching, I didn't put it in here yet, but I was thinking that I emailed it, but I don't remember. So, okay.
Or maybe when I post the flyer, I can just put on the top in bold for faculty and stakeholders.
Yeah, we could do that for sure. Yeah.
And then and we also, did we mention we have CARE, the CARE Collaborative? They're going to be doing a workshop on racial and equity in the classroom. And I know that I just saw the email, Renee, too, about they only have time to do it on Wednesday for the keynote closing, which I'm totally okay moving myself.
Oh no, Yadira, I moved everything with Lisa last night.
I'm sorry. Okay.
No, we are good.
Okay. So
but we do have CARE coming in. We have Lisa Wilson. She's going to be, Kim Barker's going to help facilitate. If anybody went to the Cuesta thing last week with Lisa, oh my gosh, it was one of the best. It was one of the best things I've gone to in years, literally. It's just so solid. So we contacted CARE and we're like, hey, that was rad last week. Any chance we could work with you to get that going for Teach for LA? And fortunately, Lisa and the team was willing to help out. That'll be good. So anything missing or anything look weird or, it's like when you're in it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like me, Megan, Leia, and Yadira have seen everything so many times, but anything that looks off or any thoughts on it?
Renee, I might have missed it, but at the end of Yadira's inspirational closing, where are we meeting for drinks? I didn't see that part.
I know. Doug, you
oh my gosh.
Let's say it. Like where are the Mai Tais? I think LaShawn has her hand up. Let me lower my hand.
Excellent. And LaShawn's presenting. I'm super excited.
Whoa.
And I had a question. Are the Zooms usually set up in webinar format or just your traditional?
Great question, LaShawn. It totally depends on what you're comfortable with. A lot of people will, we traditionally just do like the traditional way in a sense, because one of the reasons is we like to encourage that kind of like the dialogue and the people going back and forth. But if you feel more comfortable doing it in a webinar format, you're welcome to do it however you feel best.
Okay, I like the regular. I just didn't know for sure if I needed to switch it to a webinar.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I love the regular because I like the bantering and like everybody to go and I like seeing everybody too. Yeah. But you don't have to though, just because that's like what like whatever works for you is good. We're flexible with it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments about Teach for LA or anything on the schedule? Does anything look off? Anything we're missing? I'm so grateful for everybody who's presenting because it takes a village on these. Okay, I'm assuming there's nothing off because nobody is screaming at me or saying anything. Not that you guys ever scream at me, but you know, nobody has made a note. Now, the one thing, last time we had huge giveaways. Everybody was so generous and sent money in, and I went and I bought all this stuff, and then we shipped everything. Our planning team, and I apologize because you know, I think those of you who know me well know that I love like putting together packages and getting them in the mail and putting the stickers on them for the students. And, you know, I take pictures and send them to you like, hey, here I am at the post office with our 50 packages. And, but with everything going on with my mom, I just have to scale down right now. And so I met with our committee, our planning committee, a couple weeks ago, and we decided that we would like to mail gift cards to students this time. So instead of doing like, you know, all the packages, and maybe we can revisit that in spring if people are into it, because I do love doing it, but it's a lot of effort and a lot of extra time. And so, so for this one, we're going to ask, I'll shoot out an email if anybody's willing to donate a gift card or to donate some money towards gift cards. It doesn't have to be anything big. It could be like, you know, a $5 gift card to Starbucks, and we wrap it up with another $5 gift card to McDonald's or something. You know, it could be a $10 gift card, or it doesn't have to be a huge item. But what I will probably do is sometime this week, I'll send it out via email. And then I'll probably like include like my Venmo and other ways. If people don't have, how do I say this? If people are willing to, like maybe you don't have a gift card, but you're willing to contribute, then I'll send a way that you can send some money or donate some money. No pressure at all. If you're able to help out, great. If not, we will figure a way to make it work. So we will definitely have some giveaways. And then if anybody has anything that they, like if you are willing to do like a campus giveaway, so maybe for instance, you can get like a cute little campus backpack and maybe a campus water bottle, and maybe you have, I don't know, a Frisbee or something from your teacher prep program. If you're willing to create something like that and have the resources, and then you can mail it from your campus, we are open to that idea by all means. Anyway, so we need to figure out the giveaways for the conference, but I'll shoot an email out, and I'll shoot that out at the start of next week since it's Friday. I don't think anybody wants the Teach for LA email today. So I'll send the giveaway email request on Monday. Okay, any comments or questions about Teach for LA or the giveaway? Yeah.
Do we have everything ready? Can I
guys
start putting together the program?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the last 2 to 3 sentence description from one group. Everything else is ready. I'm at the point where I might just write it myself. Because I think I can. So so I'll have it very shortly, Leah, okay? Promise. Okay, so this is going to sound crazy because we're 29 minutes early right now. That's all I have for this month. Is there anything anybody would like to share? Any question? I love it. I get some, Colleen's like, oh my gosh, I could be on just one call for the next 29 minutes. Okay, well, I will go ahead and wrap us then for today. Thank you everybody for your support with Teach for LA. I'm excited for us to roll out another conference. It's going to be awesome. We're going to impact positively a lot of really, you know, probably hundreds of our students. And so let's help to fill people's buckets. Let's roll out an awesome kick-ass conference again, right? And thanks everybody for your support. Like I said, I will shoot out an email on Monday again with the Teach for LA. If you could blast it out next week a couple times to your stakeholders and your students, that'd be great. Last time before we ran the conference, we had over 900 people registered before we started. Right now, we're a little bit shy of 300. I know that sounds like a significant gap. It doesn't within a week. Within a week, we can jump 500-600 people easily. So anyways, I'm gonna ask everybody to slam it really, really hard next week. But I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. If by any chance you are available from 12 to 1:30 today, or for any portion of that time, please join us at the Leadership Community of Practice. Tanette Salter, when we did the cross-system conference this summer, it was funny because on the evaluation for the conference, I had multiple people that made references to Tanette Salter. And literally one person was like, I want more Tanette Salter. So when we were thinking about who to bring in for the COP, we thought Tony would be a good person. So if you can join us today from 12 to 1:30, that's where some of us will be. But everybody have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And looking forward to Teach for LA. It's happening soon. So everybody brace yourself next week, because the week after we're in full effect. So everyone have a
Have a
wonderful
good weekend. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.